I want you to look at this. This is all the times that a team has made over 500 runs in a test match. It has happened on 638 occasions. And this tells us a good story that over the large history of test match cricket, scoring rates haven't really changed all that much. After the 1950s, we certainly had a little bit of a bump, and occasionally someone would bat faster in an innings, but even then, as the bats got bigger and the batters got stronger and bigger themselves, it hasn't really changed that much. And then you have this last innings by England today, which is in any and every way a complete outlier in the history of cricket.
This is the last knot. My dad told me to say this.
Test runs per over was not trending in this direction at all. And then England did this. They had 13 leaves today. Australia had 158 yesterday. Intent has become this dirty buzzword in modern cricket. We used to just call it attacking cricket. Well, England went well beyond intent or attack. This was one of the most aggressive days. Well, I mean, it just was probably the most aggressive day in Test match cricket. Because other than a leave on ball one, England went at Pakistan from beginning to end. This was even more aggressive than anything else we've seen in BazBall so far. Now, there were some big hairy caveats that need to be mentioned. Babar Azam said he thought that this pitch would be better than the one that Australia played on. It was not better. It would appear to be as flat as a wicket could be. It felt at times that if you fired a ballistic warhead at this pitch, the batter at the other end would just be given a cup of coffee and a cooked breakfast. So yes, it was a flat pitch, but we have seen them before. And this is still our first 500 runs on the first day of a test match. So what else happened? Well, Pakistan picked an incredibly inexperienced attack. If they thought there was going to be something in the pitch, well then this was still an incredibly inexperienced team. But there was nothing in the wicket and they looked like they had absolutely no ideas. For instance, the seamers never bowled overs after overs of cutters or tried 8-1 fields or bowled with a low arm action or anything like that. Not sure that any of that would have worked, of course, but at some stage around the 400 runs just after tea, I reckon I might have tried it. England clearly decided to sweep a lot, and yet it took forever for the Pakistani spinners to just slow the ball down. And by then, England had swept 16% of its balls that had been bowled to them from the tweakers. Almost 4 times the normal rate. And Pakistan were also a bit weird with their fields. Like here's Harry Brook's wagon wheel. He kind of kept hitting his boundaries to like 2 areas in the ground. And I feel that on a day like this, it's okay to have 2 players out on each one of those boundaries just to stop this from continually happening. Of course, some of these were off a very low-use part-timer who may have actually bowled his last over in Test match cricket. This is still absolutely berserk from England. There are no caveats that I can give you that explains away how England suddenly scored a run and over quicker than any team who had ever scored more than 400 runs in a Test match before. And when they started quick, I kind of understood it. In that glory period of Australian cricket, when they scored a lot quicker than everyone else, they would often start very fast in that first session with players like Michael Slater and Justin Langan and Matt Hayden. But then they would pull back. In fact, often they wouldn't actually score that many runs in a day. The psychological damage seemed to be far more important to them, and the overall run rate was still fine. But they were definitely considered a fast-scoring team. Well, these are all the innings where Australia has made over 400 during their run from 1995 to 2010, and also England today. Australia only scored over 5 runs and over once in that period. What England did today is not like what Australia used to do. It's not like anything we have seen before. You can see that Australia also made a shift in Test match cricket. It's just that at the moment, England seems more violent. England don't stop when they're batting. Even when they are accumulating, it is in the style of their ODI play, which is still around a run a ball. There is no rest, no mooring middle overs, and if you're a bowler, no downtime. So they are capable of scoring at 6 or 7 runs per over. And I just can't see anyone at the moment regularly touching that, if at all. And part of the reason England went so hard was because of tactics. They knew because of the light conditions that this is probably a 4-day test. And so that they had to score a little bit quicker, and they probably couldn't pull back once they were in front. But to continually hit this well for a whole day, well, it's never happened before at all. And obviously, I have done huge videos on BazBall before and explaining it and how it works, but this is a new peak. And they still have a few more overs left to actually push it further. There have been 1,586 scores of over 400 in Test cricket. 1,573 of them were scored at 5 runs and over or slower. This one was scored at over a run a ball. This is just a list of the 618 times where someone has scored over 500 in a test, because my system actually crashed when I tried to do all the 400 plus scores. It is just remarkable what we are seeing at the moment. And we know enough about BazBall to probably understand that it works better when the ball, the pitch isn't helping. That's an easy thing to pass. But what England are doing when the conditions are in their favour is still something that this game has never seen before. We are either seeing the weirdest flare-up that will crash in Test match cricket history, or a new way of playing our sport. And the good news is that both of those things are incredibly fun.